Okay, so Nosferatu. Yeah, so I wanted to really watch this movie because of the SpongeBob episode. You guys know which one I'm talking about. The hash slinging, the crash slinging, the brash fringing, the hash slinging slasher. So yeah, like I really wanted to see this movie because of the SpongeBob reference. I was like, who is Nosferatu? Ever since I saw that episode, I was like, who is this old decrepit looking long finger guy with the long nails looking like a crazy looking vampire? I was like, what is this? So I went to the movies today and I saw Nosferatu. So Nosferatu is basically, I'm gonna tell you guys spoilers in this movie. So if you don't want to see spoilers, please watch somebody else's video. But basically, I'm just gonna run down the synopsis for you guys, tell you what I liked and what I didn't like, and I'm just gonna let you know right now, it disturbed me. It was not scary. I'm not really too scared of scary movies like that, but it was disturbing. So it really is just the tale of do not mess with witches. If you got girls that are into that dark stuff and they be talking about doing blood sacrifices and all that, just leave those girls alone. That's all I'll say, because basically it started off with a woman and she is just wanting passion. She wants somebody to love her. She wants that longing of be held and stuff like that. So she ends up praying to like this angel of death, this demon, and pretty much she creates a bond or a pact, a covenant with this demon, and she does all this like twisting, like possessing stuff, like she just got taken over by him, right? Flash forward a few years later, she ends up finding this husband, Thomas. Her and her husband have been married for a couple years or something like that. It doesn't really tell you how long, but they're newlyweds. So her and Thomas are together, and pretty much Thomas is like her light. Thomas is the one who keeps her dark side in check. And so eventually she starts having like these night terrors. Oh, she's been having night terrors. And Thomas is about to get a promotion at his job. I guess he's a realtor. He sells houses, does real estate type of thing. So the guy he works for, who's a kooky old man, he pretty much tells Thomas to go out to find this Count Orlok. That's Nosferatu. That's the vampire guy from SpongeBob. So he tells him to go over there and sell him the house or whatever. And so Thomas sets out, or he about to set out on this adventure. He tells his wife that he has to go, and she's like, "Please don't go, don't go." First warning right there: if somebody tells you not to go on the perilous adventure, that's what they always do in these horror movies. That's kind of like why I don't really watch horror movies like that, because it's like people always are telling you stop going to the left. You know what I'm saying? Go to the right. Do the right thing. Don't do the wrong thing. But he did the wrong thing, and he ended up going out on this adventure. He stopped at this gypsy town, and the gypsy people, he stayed at this inn, and they were like, "Don't even speak of that name. Don't speak of it." He's like, "I'm here to see the Orlok. I'm trying to go to the college." He's like, "Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Don't even speak that name, boy. We don't do that here. Just don't be speaking all that devil stuff here." But he's like, "Look, I'll pay you double just to stay at your house." So Thomas stays at the guy's house, and this old little lady, she's speaking in another language. She's like, "Please don't go to that house. Please don't go to the house. Pray, pray." And she did the Catholic cross thing. And then Thomas don't listen. He has a dream. He thinks it's a dream, but he pretty much sees the gypsy people lead this girl who's a virgin, naked on a horse, out to this grave, and they open up the grave, the casket, and stab the corpse through the heart. Like, you're supposed to stab a vampire with a wooden stake type thing. And he wakes up and he thinks he's dreaming, but he sees his feet, and his feet should have told him, "Nah, I wasn't dreaming because my feet are dirty." So he's been outside walking. Nobody goes to sleep with their shoes on dirty anyways. So two red flags, like three red flags. One, his lady told him not to go. Two, he gets to the inn and they tell him not to go. Three, he wakes up and he sees his feet. Then he gets outside and he sees that nobody's outside. You know what I'm saying? So it is so many red flags that he shouldn't go. But his horse is gone. So he's just like, "Oh, I guess I should just trek forward." This guy treks forward. And then this magical horse carriage with these black horses come out of this mist. Like, he goes through like this forest area with like this arch, and he goes to this area with this mist. The horses come and they pretty much like stop right in front of him and open like Cinderella's magical godmother carriage to take her to the ball. The horse carriage takes him to the castle where Nosferatu, the count, lives and all that. And the count is creepy as heck. He should have been known that he shouldn't have been doing this. And it's like, as soon as it cuts to that, it cuts back to his wife. And something I will say is that the cinematography is great. It's just the story is just kind of creepy and really weird. I'll have to watch the 1921 just to get the whole feel of it. I'm probably gonna watch that later tonight. Anyways, they keep on cutting back and forth to Thomas and his wife Ellen or Elena. I think it's like Ellen, but pretty much she's tripping out. She's like freaking out, and she's staying with Thomas and them like friends of friends. Like she has a friend that that they've known, and Thomas has a best friend, and they're married and stuff. So she's staying at Thomas's friend's house, and she's tripping out. And mind you, the guy who told Thomas to go there, he's tripping out. He's over here eating sheep, being naked in jail and stuff like that. Then he like eats a pigeon, bites his head off. A lot of crazy, gory type of footage. But anyways, it keeps on flashing back between Thomas and Elena, and then Thomas, he's over here trying to sign over the land to Orlok, the Nosferatu guy, the vampire guy. And he's just being creepy as all heck, talking in a low voice, just like this, in a Dracula voice, like, come to me and sign this piece of paper. So he ends up staying there for a couple nights, signs a piece of paper, and I guess on the piece of paper, he pretty much signed his, like, marriage license away, because Nosferatu gave him some gold, and he signed that paper, and Nosferatu at night, every time that Thomas would try to go to sleep, he would wake up and he would see these bite marks on his chest. And basically these bite marks were from Orlok, Nosferatu, and he was just biting him, trying to suck his blood at night. Eventually, Thomas escapes and he finds like a monastery. He finds some nuns find him. He falls out the side of a building because Nosferatu sicks his dogs on him. Because Thomas was trying to go sneak around the castle because he's like, hey, I just want to go now. After we did this business, can we go now? Can I go now? And he's played by the guy from X-Men, Days of Future Past, the Hank guy, Hank McCoy Beast. I like that guy, the actor. But yeah, basically he tries to flee because Nosferatu, after he tries to kill him, he sicks these dogs on him. So he falls out and he ends up floating down the river, and these nuns find him. And bottom line, they were just wanting him to stay there and heal, but he's like, no, he's coming after my wife. I have to go get her. So basically, after Thomas runs back to the house, Nosferatu is like, it's my time to go. So I don't know how, but sometimes this timeline in this movie is kind of be skipping apart. So he gets into this casket, and he gets on this ship. And apparently he has control of the weather because he tells the sky and the winds to create a storm and sail me to the location that I need to go to. So Elena's like, where's Thomas? And, freaking she's tripping out. And the friend that she's staying with, he ends up calling a doctor. And the doctor, he's like giving her ether and chloroform to make her go to sleep. But eventually his teacher is Willem Dafoe. And he's my favorite character in this movie. Willem Dafoe from Spider-Man, the Green Goblin. He carries this whole movie because he's like pretty much a witch doctor. He's like a sage. He knows alchemy. He's of the occult. You know what I'm saying? He knows the light and darkness. He's pretty much is the one that's gonna carry you through this troubled season. And so he's pretty much like, yo, you need to stop giving her that chloroform. She needs to go through these demon withdrawals naturally, and she's gonna tell us what's wrong, through her like little episodes. And then eventually Thomas came back. After that, Elena, she started trying to trip out on Thomas. She was like, you were never as good as him, and things like that. And they all trying to like, kill this guy, find out ways to kill him. But as the creepy old man that told Thomas to go there in the first place, he pretty much is leading Nosferatu to come there. And he ends up doing some, rituals to lead him there to where they are to offer up the girl. And so the ship that he was on ends up crashing into the friend's house, the guy who has the estate, the guy who Elena was staying with and Thomas's friend. And all these rats come out. So everybody who is not of the spiritual nature, like Elena and the witch doctor, they think it's all just a regular plague. But in reality, it's the Nosferatu or like guy coming over. And man, all these rats start coming around. They start biting all these people and things like that. And long story short, it's not a long story short. I'm going to get to it. But pretty much Orlok is trying to get to Elena. And the only way that all this is going to end is if Elena sacrifices herself and gives her up to him, which ends up happening. But it took the friend, the lady who the you know what I'm saying, Thomas's and Elena's friend, he had a wife and she was childbearing. She had a child that was in her stomach and she had two little girls and they were screaming like there's a monster with us. But the dad, he was so over it, all this talk of like mystical monsters and stuff. He's like, there's an actual plague going on. We need to figure out what's going on. He ended up telling Elena and Thomas to get out. And so Elena and Thomas went out. I think it like skipped like a couple of days because Thomas, he went to the church and I guess the nuns, they tried to heal him and stuff like that. And yeah, Elena was like gaslighting him into like no, he was better than you. And then she was like making herself feel all bad. She's like, oh no, I'm unclean, I'm sorry, you know, these I get a little crazy when I drink, you know. No, she didn't say that, but she just has these times where the darkness takes over her and her and Nosferatu are getting closer and he's trying to like come to her through her sleep and through her dreams, and she has these like trance moments. And eventually he tells her to stay home, and her, the witch doctor, the other doctor, and the friend, I can't remember his name, but they were all supposed to try to go to Nosferatu's grave. They're gonna try to find that old little man, and they're gonna try to find him to find Nosferatu and kill him. But when they get to the gravesite, out pops the little man. But before he pops out, Thomas stabs him through the heart. But he doesn't realize it's the man. But the doctor had read this book, and he's seen the prophecy that basically it was a girl, a maiden, that had sacrificed herself to Nosferatu, and before a cock crows three times, a chicken crows three times, that'll pretty much is what's gonna happen. So, she offered herself up like while they were away. She said, "Come to me," and as she said, "Come to me," he was like over here. She said, and she got naked, and he started biting on her chest and sucking her blood out, and oh man, the sun came up and it pretty much disintegrated him, or it made him die because vampires, they can't live in the light and stuff like that. But the doctor knew this. Thomas came back. He was like holding her hand and kissing her hand. He's like, "Oh my love," and she's dead by this time. But yeah, man, it was a creepy, disturbing movie. I'm never gonna be able to look at that same episode of SpongeBob again. But I mean, it was good. I will say the cinematography was really good. The acting was good. Like, it was creepy to see her do those trance stuff. Like, Willem Dafoe takes the cake, man. He was the best character in the movie. He was a kooky, like, witch doctor guy, and like nothing bad happened to him because he is on the up and up. But yeah, like L Tom, um, L Elena, L friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all lost, man. I really feel bad for the friend because he ain't want nothing to do. He was just holding, he was just taking care. He was trying to do the right thing by letting his friend's wife stay with him. And then she's like all possessed. But yeah, man, all I'll say is just don't be dealing with them witches, man, because you never know what type of darkness they're gonna bring. And if you get these warnings that are telling you not to go, please don't go. Anyways, you guys, that was my little summary and synopsis of Nosferatu. Hope you guys liked it. If you like more movie reviews, give me a like. I appreciate that. Anyways, this is Yonatan out. I'll see you next time. Peace.